Hello, and welcome back to Putting the Story in History. And today we have a very historical thing to talk about. It is 4/20/2021, and the Derek Chauvin trial has just ended today. Now, for those of you who have not been following the trial, the Derek Chauvin trial is about Officer Derek Chauvin, a Minneapolis police officer who kneeled on the neck of George Floyd for 9.5 minutes and killed him. Now the trial's been going on for about a week or two, and the basis of the trial is basically coming to the point. The evidence that the prosecution has put forth is basically that Derek Chauvin acted way out of department policy and was infinitely too aggressive, infinitely too forceful, and killed this man when he didn't need to. Um, and there's lots of evidence, lots of witnesses that back that up. Even the chief of the Minneapolis Police Department testified, saying that what he did was wrong. And today, the judge and the jury handed out the decision that he will be guilty on all three charges put together: two murder charges and a manslaughter charge. Now, obviously, this is a great thing for people who are hoping for real justice reform for Black and African Americans, people of color who have suffered under the hands of police brutality. Now, this is a great thing. We don't want to take away from the fact that this is a big victory and this is a great thing. There's finally been some sort of accountability for people who feel like it's okay to use excessive force when you have a police officer's badge to kill Black people. Now, the real issue, though, is that this is just the first step. Much more has to be done. For those of you who don't really understand or haven't really been following this social justice movement, this is just the beginning. Police officers, right, despite the amount of training that they have and despite the level of lethal force that we allow them to use, seem to indiscriminately use it in excess against people of color. And there have been numerous examples just in the last 2 weeks that show the difference in how police officers treat often unarmed people of color versus potentially incredibly armed white people. This system has to change, and the only way it can change is for the current system to be dismantled, which means that we're going to tear it down and build something new. Police officers should not be involved in all the things that they're involved in. There are plenty of other people that can handle and de-escalate situations that do not have the ability to use lethal force. Psychologists, therapists, social workers are all capable of de-escalating people in crisis. They're all capable of talking down people who could hurt themselves and others. And more generally, police officers have been put in charge of things like traffic stops and traffic violations, these sorts of things that don't necessarily need police officers to be in charge of. Instead, people who do not have the ability to use lethal force can handle these things and eliminate the possibility of lethal force being used inappropriately. And that's something that people who are behind this, who support this, are pushing for. We need to take money away from the police. Not that they shouldn't have some money, right, to do the things that they need to do, right? People who are armed, people who are dangerous, right? We need to have an armed response to that. And that is something I think we all can agree upon. But these other things that are being disproportionately used against people of color need to be given to people who cannot use lethal force. Eliminate that possibility. And that's a big step in the right direction. That's what we're asking for here, moving forward after this trial. Just a lot of emotions right now. Lost my train of thought. The point being is that this is a good step in the right direction, but there's a lot more left to do. And I hope that given this guilty verdict and some accountability finally being held up, that you don't give up pushing and you don't give up fighting for what's right, especially if you're not a person of color. If you're white, don't stop now. Keep pushing. Keep holding people accountable. We can fix this. Thanks for watching. Black Lives Matter. See you soon.